Everyone, welcome to the next video in this mushroom series from Johanna Basford Small Victories. We have a cute little mushroom house today to colour, so let's come in closer and have a little look at what we've got. We've got some pretty little flowers as well, look at that. Now, I'm always so tempted to do these red. Now we have done some red ones before, but not a big one. Let's do it red. I just fancy doing red today. I've got my Polychromos. I'm just picking the darkest red that I want to use. It's the dark red. I'm going to use that to start with, and then work from there. Now I'm looking at the design of this, and we've got lines here, and I'm wondering whether it's going to be darker at the bottom and lighter at the top, rather than on like this one. I do it lighter in the middle. Let's try it differently and make it just dark at the bottom. So we're applying all our intense red right along this bottom part here. Just seeing how that looks for a different look as we, do quite a lot of red. So we'll see. I always think, I always automatically think red when I think mushrooms and toadstools. I sort of think there are some that are red with white dots, of course, and I always think sort of fairy rings, Enid Blyton, that sort of thing. I don't know how many of you've read Enid Blyton. I'm going to go back across and get that bottom part more intense. I did used to like them. I was very lucky because I had cousins that were older than me, and they would pass on books that they had, and I would get all sorts of lovely books passed on to me, which was really great, and lots of Enid Blyton. Although when I remember when I started secondary school, so when I was 11, they told us that we shouldn't read Enid Blyton. They weren't good books, and we should read something a bit more well written, sort of thing, for older children. But I still read them a little bit. It's a bit naughty, but I enjoyed them. I used to read them in the holidays. There's nothing more fun than curling up on the sofa, deep scarlet red, with a lovely, easy to read book of a story that you may have read before, but you may not have always remembered. My memory isn't particularly good when I'm reading. I read very quickly. My husband reckons that I don't read every word, and that's why I do read every word. My memory just isn't good when I'm reading. I have to write things down to remember them, I just don't. I've never had a particularly good memory for anything, for remembering things like that anyway. So anyway, I just used to really, whoops, that's gone over the window frame. Never mind. I used to just really enjoy. And of course, most kids will be outside, playing outside in the sunshine and things like that. And I just know I'd much rather either be sitting curled up with a book or scarlet red. I'm going to go over all of it again with this, or playing computer game. I sometimes would do some knitting or embroidery, things like that. But I was never one for wanting to go outside, and my mum would visit her father daily up until he passed away when I was 11. So we would always go and see him every day, so there would be that to do. So we'd get a walk. He lived, gosh, quite a long way away actually, thinking about it. I'm not sure how long it took to walk, but and then yeah, and so we would do that. We'd go into town and things like that as well, till I got a bit older, and then I didn't always want to do that. Be with my mum, to be honest. I want to do is I just want to do a top coat, and I'm trying to decide what colour to do. Let's go for an orangey colour rather than a pinky colour. This is the deep cadmium orange. I need to grab my my spare, because I want it to look more solidly coloured at the top, but obviously I don't want it as dark as the bottom, or else we're not going to get that effect of colour changing. There we go. It's a bit wonky. There we are. Right, now that's it. The window frame I accidentally coloured over in a bit of red, so I think I need to go darker, just so that, you know, it sort of hides what I've done. So I think I might just go for black. It's a really big contrast between the red. So I'm going to do that, and it will just cover that over nicely. I'm going to go carefully. I don't want to go out of the lines too much here. I will, but you know. There we are. Now the light inside, I'll do that next. Oops. Oh. This is the light yellow glaze. We use that for the window. Quite pale. I'm trying to decide what to do with the dots, but I won't make my mind up fully yet. I'm going to grab a warm grey 3 and do the stem. I'm just going to do it all over with this, and then I'll bring in some darker shades to do a little more with it. And I'm going to do the chimney this colour too. So just a sort of initial couple of layers, and then a darker grey. This is the warm grey 4. Okay, and can you see? Yes. Right, so first of all, chimney, I'm going to just block in that bit, just so that it looks different, and then try and put some darker bits on the edges. Now if you just do a line like this and this, it can look a bit harsh, so I try to do a line and then a lighter line just to the inside of it, so that it doesn't look such a harsh line. I hope that makes sense. We're going to do a similar thing on the stem, stalk. What do you call this bit? I don't know. So quite dark on the edge, and then just a bit lighter as we go towards the middle. Do a bit more work down here where it's larger, like that. We get a little bit of a lighter bit in the centre, which makes it look a bit more rounded. I'm going to get a darker colour as well, which I need to sharpen. So this is the warm grey 5, and I'm just going to put a really defined line under there and a bit of shadow, because the this bit would be shaded by the bit above. That's why Johanna's drawn those lines in, and then we can take that gently down the side and fade it in a little bit. And sometimes I like to just put a few lines on, because I'm thinking maybe there'd be a bit of texture on that face, maybe. Okay, now our white dots, I quite like them in white, but I'm going to put some shadow underneath and around them. I think it looks quite fun if it looks like they're standing up a bit from the surface. It's not completely smooth. tend to put a bit more at the bottom. Sometimes I don't do any at the top at all. And then these lines, I'm just going to emphasise these a little bit, because they sort of look like they might be almost splits or marks in the mushroom. There we go. I'm tempted to leave those completely white. I might do that. The dots, not the flowers and the leaves. We'll do those in a minute. So, yes, let's do our grass. Should we try grass green? Why not? A little bit under here. Layer it up so it's quite bright, I think. There we go. Now, I'm going to do my leaf slightly darker. I'm going to use just, oh, it's quite sharp, the chromium green opaque, but I'm also going to just use this down here to put a little bit of shadow around here, like the one we did the other day, because the whole of this is shading this. It's not going to be much difference because it's going to be shadowed all over it, but it's nice to just put a little bit around the bottom there. And then our leaves. There we go. Now the flowers, you could do the flowers all the same colour, you could do them different colours. I think I'm going to do them a mixture of shades of blue. Why not? Actually, we could do it, yeah, I've got an idea. Let's, the phthalo blues, I'm going to do one dark, one middle, one light. Start with the light phthalo blue. I do this one down here in the light. I'm just going to fill it in like that. Let's hold the page open a bit. It might be a bit darker at the bottom. There we go. Now the next one is our middle phthalo blue. I'm going to do this one. Just to fill it in. Just going to actually sharpen it a bit. There we go. So again, I think it might be a bit darker at the bottom. There we go. And then we have our dark phthalo blue, which definitely needs a sharpen. Actually, it's just called phthalo blue, but it's definitely the darkest shade. Phthalo blue. And fit it all in. A bit darker at the bottom. There we go. Now, before I finish, well, there's two more things I want to do. Firstly, dark indigo. I'm going to try to define these little bits here by just taking that up a bit to sort of give our flowers a bit more shape. Maybe, yeah, it's a bit fussy, I don't know. Then I'm going to get my jelly roll pen. This is number 5. And I'm just going to take out the black line at the top of each of our dots, just to make them look a little bit whiter. Sorry, I'm not talking, my tongue is sticking out while I'm concentrating. Let's put a few dots on our flowers. This fine pen is quite tricky. There we go. There. Let's hold the book open and straighten it out for you so you can see. Just looking. Yeah, I am happy with that one. Again, that was quite quick, wasn't it? Some of them take a bit longer than others. But, oh, we've got some really interesting ones coming up, but I shouldn't be looking too far forward. But anyway, that is today's done. So thank you so much for watching. Please do like, comment, subscribe, all those things if you haven't already. If you have, I appreciate it, and if you do, thank you so much. Hoping that you have a really super day, and happy colouring.